Did you know ice can grind solid granite into dust? Gravity forces these frozen rivers to crawl downhill quite slowly. As ice freezes onto rock, it rips massive boulders loose. Those trapped rocks act like giant sandpaper against the bedrock. The ice carves deep, parallel grooves directly into mountain walls. Unlike narrow river canyons, glaciers carve wide, deep U-shaped valleys. Glaciers gnaw from both sides, leaving behind razor-sharp mountain ridges. High up, ice scoops out giant, bowl-shaped amphitheaters called cirques. Multiple glaciers converging leave behind a single, pointed pyramid peak. That is how ice turns jagged mountains into smooth valleys. Massive ice sheets press down with millions of tons force. Water seeps into cracks, then freezes, gripping the bedrock tight. Moving ice pulls these fractured chunks out like loose teeth. The glacier uses these rocks to sand down the mountain. It leaves behind smooth surfaces and deep, parallel gouge marks. Unlike rivers, glaciers carve out wide, steep-walled, U-shaped valleys. It is basically a giant, slow-moving belt sander for mountains. High up, ice scoops out amphitheater-shaped bowls called glacial cirques. When two glaciers meet, they leave behind thin, jagged ridges. Glaciers transform rounded hills into sharp, dramatic, jagged alpine peaks. Massive ice sheets press down with incredible, heavy crushing force. Gravity pulls this frozen giant slowly down the mountain slope. Ice freezes into deep cracks, prying loose massive granite boulders. Embedded rocks act like sandpaper, grinding the bedrock into dust. Deep scratches on the stone show exactly where glaciers passed. Unlike rivers, glaciers carve out wide, rounded U-shaped valley floors. Ice scoops out bowl-shaped basins near the very mountain peaks. Two glaciers meeting leave behind a razor-thin, jagged rocky ridge. Multiple glaciers carving inward leave a sharp, pyramid-shaped mountain horn. This slow, relentless grinding transforms jagged peaks into smooth valleys. Massive ice sheets press down with incredible force on rock. Meltwater seeps into cracks, freezes, and shatters the solid stone. The glacier then plucks these loose boulders from the mountain. Those trapped rocks act like sandpaper against the valley floor. They leave behind long, deep grooves called striations on stone. Unlike rivers, glaciers carve out massive, wide U-shaped valleys instead. It's basically a giant, slow-moving conveyor belt of crushed rock. The ice shears away valley walls, creating incredibly steep cliffs. Smaller side glaciers leave hanging valleys high above the floor. These icy giants leave behind dramatic, jagged peaks forever changed. Giant ice sheets press down with immense, bone-crushing gravitational weight. Meltwater lubricates the base, letting the ice slide downhill slowly. Water freezes into mountain cracks, prying loose massive granite blocks. Embedded boulders act like sandpaper, scouring the bedrock beneath them. These deep grooves left in the stone prove ice passed. Unlike narrow river canyons, glaciers carve wide, deep U-shaped valleys. Smaller tributary glaciers leave high valleys suspended above the floor. Ice gathers in mountain hollows, scooping out perfect amphitheater bowls. Multiple glaciers sharpen ridges into jagged peaks like the Matterhorn. The mountain is essentially a sculpture, shaped by frozen rivers. Massive ice sheets act like giant, slow-moving sandpaper blocks today. Water seeps into cracks, freezes, and pries boulders loose underneath. Trapped rocks scrape the valley floor with immense downward pressure. Long parallel grooves reveal exactly where the ice traveled past. Unlike V-shaped rivers, glaciers carve wide, deep, rounded valley floors. Ice hollows out bowl-shaped basins high up near mountain peaks. Two glaciers carving back-to-back leave behind razor-thin jagged ridges. Three or more cirques meeting create a pyramid-shaped mountain horn. Glaciers act like bulldozers, pushing piles of rubble down slopes. This relentless scouring turns jagged terrain into smooth, dramatic landscapes. Massive ice sheets press down with immense, heavy crushing force. Water seeps into cracks, freezes, and shatters the mountain bedrock. The glacier plucks these loose boulders, dragging them slowly downward. Embedded rocks act like sandpaper, scouring the valley floor below. These stones carve deep, parallel grooves into the solid granite. Unlike sharp river canyons, glaciers widen valleys into broad curves. High up, ice scoops out deep, round amphitheaters called cirques. When two cirques meet, they leave behind jagged, knife-like ridges. Three or more glaciers carving inward create a pyramid peak. Essentially, glaciers are slow, giant earth movers reshaping entire mountain ranges. Massive ice sheets press down with incredible, crushing gravitational force. Meltwater lubricates the base, letting the glacier slide downhill slowly. The ice freezes onto fractured bedrock, ripping out large chunks. Embedded rocks act like sandpaper, grinding the mountain floor smooth. If you enjoy these clear science insights, please hit like. Glaciers widen narrow, V-shaped river valleys into broad U-shaped troughs. Hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get updates. Two glaciers carving side by side leave behind a razor-sharp mountain ridge. Multiple glaciers eroding one mountain peak creates a pyramid shape. As the ice melts away, it leaves behind carved cathedrals. Massive ice sheets press down with millions of tons force. Water seeps into cracks, freezes, and pops off rock chunks. Embedded boulders grind against the floor like giant coarse sandpaper. These deep scratches show exactly which way the ice flowed. Unlike V-shaped rivers, glaciers carve out wide, steep-walled valleys. Ice collects in mountain basins, rotating to scoop out bowls. Two glaciers carving side by side leave behind a razor-thin ridge. When three or more cirques meet, they leave jagged horns. Smaller glaciers leave high valleys that drop into main ones. The ice melts away, revealing the jagged, dramatic mountain architecture. Massive ice sheets press down with millions of tons weight. Ice freezes onto loose rocks, locking them into its base. Those trapped stones act like heavy sandpaper against the mountain. The moving ice carves deep, parallel grooves into solid bedrock. Glaciers wide and narrow, V-shaped river valleys into broad, U-shaped troughs. Ice pulls chunks of mountain away in a process called plucking. High mountain basins become bowl-shaped cirques through constant ice erosion. Two glaciers carving side by side create thin, jagged mountain ridges. Multiple glaciers meeting leave behind a sharp, pyramid-shaped mountain peak. It is just nature using ice to chisel mountains into shape. Massive ice sheets accumulate weight over thousands of snowy years. Gravity forces this heavy ice to slide slowly downhill constantly. The ice picks up rocks and debris like a bulldozer. Embedded boulders act like sandpaper, scouring the valley floor deep. Glaciers carve wide, U-shaped valleys, unlike sharp, V-shaped river cuts. The ice freezes onto cracked rock and plucks chunks away. High mountain basins become deep bowls called cirques through erosion. When two glaciers meet, they leave behind jagged, narrow ridges. Multiple glaciers carving around one peak create pyramid-shaped horns today. These icy tools leave us with the jagged, dramatic mountains. Massive ice sheets press down with millions of tons weight. Frozen water expands in cracks, prying loose giant boulder chunks. Trapped rocks at the glacier base grind against mountain walls. Unlike rivers, these icy giants carve wide, deep U-shaped valleys. Ice collects in hollows, forming massive bowl-shaped mountain amphitheaters. Two glaciers carving side by side leave thin, jagged ridges. Multiple glaciers eroding a single peak create sharp, pointy horns. Fine silt leaves bedrock surfaces smooth like polished marble floors. Parallel grooves show exactly which direction the ice once moved. Slowly, these frozen architects transform jagged peaks into rounded monuments.